A grown man who still lives with his mother is a red flag in the dating world. Why is it a red flag? After all, there are grown women who still live with their mothers. But there is a difference in the way society views men and women who live with their parents. I mean, most women usually move to their husbands' houses after getting married, even if they have their own apartments. This is not always the case for men. So, what does it really mean when a grown man lives with his mother? This video is not to defend the mama's boy behavior, but to clarify why some men choose to live with their mothers and what it means for your relationship. The first thing, financial reasons. I don't know where you live, but the cost of living is skyrocketing these days, especially in cities. The cost of living keeps going up, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic and wars in different parts of the world. So, if a grown man is still living with his mother due to financial reason, it's understandable. It doesn't necessarily mean he's mooching off of her or he's too lazy to find a job and move out. It only allows him to save money on rent and other expenses and helps him build a better financial foundation for his future. He might use the extra funds from not paying rent to travel, pursue personal projects, or invest in his education and career advancement. And to be honest, it's not easy to find decent, affordable housing these days. Number two, cultural obligations. In some cultures, it's customary for grown children to live with their parents until they get married. It's considered disrespectful to leave your parents' house before marriage or without a legitimate reason. I know it may sound weird to people from different cultural backgrounds, but it's a reality for many families. If a grown man wants to respect his cultural beliefs, he might live with his mom even if he can afford to move out. Another thing, taking care of their mother. We cannot deny the fact that our parents get older with time and they may need assistance in their daily lives. So, sometimes a grown child might move back home to take care of his mother, especially if she is widowed or has health issues. Taking on the role of a caregiver is no small feat. It's about much more than just sharing a living space. It involves a significant emotional and physical commitment. In fact, the man or the family might employ a full-time caregiver to take care of their mother, but living with her allows the grown man to be more present and involved in her daily life. He is likely managing appointments, ensuring proper medication and care, and providing emotional support to his mother. This level of dedication requires a maturity that goes beyond simply cohabitation. It's a deliberate choice to prioritize the well-being of his mom. Another thing, difficulty finding a job. In this competitive job market, it's not uncommon for young adults to struggle to find stable and well-paying jobs. And without financial stability, it's hard for anyone to move out and support themselves, let alone afford rent or a mortgage. Some men are grateful to have a roof over their heads and food on the table, even if it means living with their mother for now. It does not mean they are lazy or unmotivated. It just means they are facing challenges that many young adults are going through. Another thing, mom's dependency. Sometimes it's not about him, but about a mom who cannot let go. Some mothers may become overly dependent on their grown children, making it challenging for them to move out and establish their independence. Oh God. Help you if the man is an only child. The mom might guilt trip or emotionally manipulate him into staying with her, fearing that she'll be alone and lonely without him or that another woman will take her place in his life. So, the grown man living with his mother here is more of a victim than a mama's boy. He might genuinely want to move out and start his own life, but he feels obligated to stay and take care of his mom's emotional needs. This is actually one of the worst case scenarios, as it can severely affect the man's mental health and relationships, especially if he cannot stand up to his mother or set boundaries. Even if he does not live with her, she might still try to control his life and decisions even when he's married. Another thing, the perpetual bachelor. Little responsibility, no rent, and a maid service. Thanks, mom. For some guys, this setup is just too good to give up. They have no motivation to move out, get their own place, and take on adult responsibilities. They are comfortable with the status quo and don't see a reason to change it. Their mother is their safety net, and they don't want to take any risks or step out of their comfort zone. Another reason, he's avoiding relationships. Living with his mom might also be an excuse for avoiding relationships altogether. He may use his living arrangement as a reason not to commit or take things seriously with anyone. He knows it is a deal breaker for many women and may use it as a way to push them away. It's easier for him to hide behind his mother's apron than to face the challenges and responsibilities of being in a committed relationship. Some men are willing to get to any lengths to avoid commitment. This kind of man would prefer that you meet at your house or his office. He will never take you to meet mama because he lives with mama and you don't like it. Another thing, it's a relationship red flag. Of course, a man living with his mother might be a sign of something unpleasant. Maybe he's not as financially stable as he claims, or he is irresponsible with his money and that is why he needs to live with mom. Or maybe he's just immature and cannot manage his own life. It cannot be all positive. There might be some underlying reasons that make it difficult for him to move out. And if he's not actively working towards becoming independent and establishing his own life, then it's understandable for it to be a red flag in a potential relationship. So, what it means for your relationship? If you are dating a grown man who lives with his mother, there is no need to panic. Living with his mother does not necessarily mean he's not ready for a serious relationship or that he will always choose her over you. And it also does not mean he is immature or emotionally dependent on her. As we have discussed, there can be valid reasons for this living arrangement. It all depends on the dynamics of their relationship and how boundaries are set. If they have a healthy balance between independence and support, there should not be anything to worry about. However, if you feel like there are unhealthy patterns or that he's not fully committed to building life with you, then you can worry. If he wants to get married, he cannot continue living with his mother forever, except you don't mind. Otherwise, he'll have to make the necessary changes, and if he's not willing to, then it might be a red flag. But until then, let's not judge people based on their living arrangements. There can be much more behind the surface that we don't know about.